What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So we're gonna check out top 7 slow cars that only look fast. Now, car companies, they try to do things to make a particular vehicle look way faster than it is. They may add a carbon fiber spoiler, or they may add some extra cosmetics to make the car look fast. But I'm here to tell you this: if the engine specs don't match up to how the car looks, there's a good chance it's not going to be that fast. But they try to sell people on that aren't really well knowledgeable in cars. So if it looks fast, but when you check under the hood and you don't really know what's going on, you know, that's how they end up getting buyers. Like, oh yeah, this car looks really fast and speedy. And then they realize it take them 10 seconds to get to 60 miles an hour. You're trying to figure out why is that? You know, so car companies do this to try to, you know, make a sale or whatnot. So we're going to check out some of these instances where, you know, cars were marketed as fast, but they really was probably slow as hell. Let's get right into this one. Check this thing out.
Damn.
This Camaro will surprise you how long it takes to do 0 to 60. Oh no.
All right, let's time it. 4 seconds. It's at 30. 10 seconds. 15 seconds.
Okay, this is gonna...
I was just joking at the beginning of this video when I said that. I literally was just joking when I said 10 seconds to get to 60. It took 15 seconds to get to 60? Oh, damn.
Take a while. Hey guys, I'm Stipe, and this is the top 7 cars that are much slower than they look. Begin!
Mispronounced.
75 Bricklin SV-1. Before there was DeLorean, there was another car very much like it. It's just that it never appeared in any blockbuster movies, so no one remembers it anymore. I'm talking about the Bricklin SV-1, a super ambitious car with gull-wing doors, a body made out of unorthodox materials, and a performance that just couldn't match its futuristic styling. Granted, the speed wasn't really the utmost priority when it came to the SV-1. Safety was. Back in the 1970s, this was the talk of the town. People dying left and right, Pinto being the crematorium on wheels. It wasn't nice. And then Mr. Bricklin showed up and said, "How do you like them apples?" It came in very, very bright colors. For safety reasons, of course. It had squishy bumpers, and it had an integrated roll cage.
Oh, wow.
But what it didn't have was enough budget to turn into a proper performer too. After the deal regarding AMC's engine fell through, Bricklin went to Ford to get a hold of their Windsor V8, which was kind of a downgrade, but not entirely bad. What ruined it was its gearbox. The damn gearbox, man.
Damn.
A 3-speed auto was the only option, and I swear that thing was slower than Joe Biden.
Wake up.
As a result, the SV-1 took nearly 10 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour, while the top speed was just 108. Again, 1975 wasn't the best year for going fast, but this was just way off. There was, however, one thing that this car did do fast: going out of production due to quality issues.
Damn.
Fisker Karma. Bit of a trivia here. Henry Fisker, the guy who designed this car, is the same guy who previously did the BMW Z8, as well as the Aston Martin DB9. And you know what? It really shows. My God, this is one sexy looking beast. Big fenders, low roof, and even this Clark Gable kind of mustache is really growing on me. Well, not literally on me. Anyway, the Karma was a $100,000 4-door coupe aimed to go against the Porsche Panamera and the Aston's Rapide with, wait for it, a 2-liter 4-cylinder under the hood.
Oh, man.
What? Except that engine wasn't connected to the wheels at all. It only serves as an onboard generator for the batteries. The speed? Now that comes from its dual electric motors. Remember what dual motor Teslas were capable of? Yeah. The Karma wasn't doing any of that. The combined output from Fisker's duals was 400 horsepower, which isn't exactly little. But if the slowest single motor Tesla is still smoking you, then what kind of horses are those? Ponies? So forget about chasing down Panameras and Rapides. In 2012, you'd have been happy to keep up with the Golf GTI.
Facts.
Like Bricklin before, the Fisker company went bust pretty quickly, but the car survived. Now owned by the Chinese, it has a slightly updated design, and I'm happy to say a very updated performance too.
So in sport mode, you'll have plenty of get up and go if you want it. There you go. I mean,
Okay.
Porsche 912. My mother wouldn't know that this is a Porsche badge, but she'll surely know that this is a Porsche car. That's how significant the 911 is. Not only is it the most recognizable vehicle ever made, but it also is a benchmark against which all other performance cars are measured. Now, sure, by today's standards, the earliest model isn't exactly what you'd call fast. 130 horsepower and 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, or worse than what you get from some hatchbacks. And I'm not talking about the hot ones either. But even that is at least something compared to Porsche's other car from the same time, the 912. It's a mostly forgotten, cheaper version with less equipment and less engine too. The body is the same, but open the hood and instead of a flat 6, which by the way you'll find in every other 911 ever made, here sat a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. The idea was to bridge the price gap between the ancient 356, which was still quite popular, and the new, much more competent 911. So take the engine from the 356, put it in the 911 body, and call it the 912. It's not the worst idea ever, even if the result was kind of embarrassing. With just 90 horsepower, the 912 was slow. Slower even than the 356, since that car was lighter. But looking at the sales numbers, it would seem that the buyers couldn't care less. By the time its production ended, the 912 outsold its faster brother by a factor of 2 to 1.
Wow.
So how come no one remembers it then? Toyota Celica.
And I think what worked for them is because, you know, it's Porsche. You may not have the speediest Porsche in the performance, but you're in an iconic car with the iconic shape, and it's Porsche. So, and you're not paying as much as the premium model. So it kind of worked in a sense. I mean, it's a beautiful car. You see that at a car show now. It, you know, doesn't matter. Sometimes you kind of overlook the performance aspects of it because of the style and design and the rarity of the vehicle. So you see one now on the road, you might as well take a picture because you're probably not going to see it like that.
GT. In 1997, Toyota made the Prius, and from that moment, they decided just to piss in the wind when it came to their sports cars.
What the hell?
Supra was dropped. The MR2, which was like a mini Ferrari only faster, was turned into something that girls get for their super sweet 16. And as for Celica, well, that car went from winning rallies to being just a rebodied front-wheel drive Corolla. Granted, the new body did look amazing. I'd say it's better looking even than the latest GT86, with all its chiseled and sporty lines. Sadly, that's everything that was sporty about it, just the looks, and even Toyota was aware of that. Look at this ad. Notice how it doesn't mention if it goes fast too? Well, that's because
it looks fast. That's it.
It doesn't.
Well, duh.
Especially if you go with the 140 horsepower 1ZZ 4-cylinder, which was tuned for better fuel economy. That's the one we're talking about here, found in the Celica GT model, which CNN praised for being one of the best fuel-efficient cars you could buy. Now, don't get me wrong, saving fuel is great, but not if it'll make my sports car slow. And how slow are we talking about here, Stipe? Well, beware of the minivans is all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
Imagine this. You're in your Celica GT with the factory-installed big body kit being left in the dust by a Karen in a Chrysler Pacifica packed full of her kids who are running late to their soccer practice. That is just embarrassing.
Seeing a fucking minivan on a drag strip is wild, and you getting gapped by it, it's even wilder.
Opel GT 1100. What does this car remind you of? If you said third-gen Corvette, then the Opel designers absolutely aced their task. Yes, it's an intentional copy, an imitation. Like when you see a real Land Rover next to a made-out-of-Chinesium Rand Rover. Except Opel is owned by General Motors. So in this case, both the original and the copy were sold by the same corporation, which begs the question, why? Well, the gorgeous-looking C3 was never sold in Europe, so I guess General Motors thought that this would be the next best thing. Hardly. Corvette was something of a muscle car with a selection of big or bigger V8s. Whereas this, it came out with a lousy 1.1 liter inline 4. Power, 60. That's just sad. Also, much of the mechanics came from the Cadet B. Remember Richard Hammond's Oliver from the Top Gear Botswana special? Well, the GT is that, but a coupe. Now on its own, the fake Vet is a small and light car that doesn't need much power to be enjoyed, but you can't look like a Corvette and not go like a Corvette.
Yeah.
Hell, even the real Corvette was made fun of when the power fell down to just 150 horses due to the stricter emissions regulations. So are we really supposed to give this one a pass? I say no. The topic is about slow cars that look fast, and doing 0 to 60 in 15 seconds while looking like you could do it in less than 6 is exactly the sort of thing that will get you featured here. Next, Honda S660 Mugen. When a Type R is not enough for your Honda, you go to Mugen, which is kind of an in-house but not really in-house tuning racing company. In Japanese, Mugen means without limits, and that is incredibly ironic when you see it's written on a Honda S660. That's a K car, a special Japanese low-tax class of vehicle that's very much limited in terms of their dimensions and engine specifications. 660cc is the max, as is 65 horsepower, and of course, the body can't be any bigger than this box. So as long as you're within those limits, you're a K. And so this is a K, and so is this, and this, and this. In fact, the last one is a Honda N-Box, and it shares the exact same engine with both the standard and the hardcore without limit Mugen S660. So no, they haven't given it any more power whatsoever. All they did was bolt on a super angry looking body kit.
Yeah.
Wings, the skirts, the blades, shoutier exhaust, some bigger wheels, and that's about it. Otherwise, it drives the same as the regular one. The acceleration is the same too, 12 seconds, and I highly doubt that all the aero pieces will make much of a difference even at the top speed, which by the way is 87 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
All in all, it's a really slow car, as all K cars are. But the Mugen is also kind of super adorable with its try-hard attitude that honestly, I wouldn't mind owning one.
It looks
Anyways,
clean.
it's time for the honorable mentions. Let's see if you can guess them.
Nah, that car definitely looked clean. Y'all let me know which cars these are.
And at number 1, Camaro Iron Duke. When GM announced that they'd be putting a 4-cylinder into the 6th gen Camaro, the fans revolted. Probably because they all got flashbacks from the last time when the same thing happened during the good-looking but otherwise low testosterone 3rd generation. Guys and gals, allow me to introduce you to the Camaro Iron Duke, the slowest Camaro ever made, and possibly the slowest muscle car too. Let me give you the headline figure. 0 to 60. It took 20 seconds. Shall I count them for you?
20 seconds to 0 to 60? Oh, nah, bro. My Honda Accord, what was that? That was a 1998 Honda Accord, very first car. My 1998 Honda Accord could get to 0 to 60 way faster than that. What?
For you. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 you get the idea. The main issue was the Iron Duke part itself, which was the name of the engine. I know it sounds butch and all, but this 2.5 liter 4-cylinder was developed first and foremost for fuel economy. 22 mpg was the main number, and who cares that it makes just 88 horsepower? It was mostly found in small econo boxes from the late 1970s, and it had absolutely no business ever being put in a sporty coupe.
Yeah.
It also didn't help that this Camaro, the Iron Duke, was mated to a 3-speed auto slush box dating back to the 60s. The whole thing was just miserable, and to this day, I still don't get what GM was thinking. That people don't care about speed as long as the car looks great, aka Porsche 912?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't true. By the time the Iron Turd option was dropped, only 15% of buyers thought that it was a good idea, whereas more than half went with the V8.
Yeah.
We'll gloss over the fact that even the V8s were kind of slow because it's time to end my video. Now go watch something else.
Bro, that was wild, bro. 20 seconds to get to 0 to 60 is fucking insane. What? That's, yeah, nah, nope. I don't care how good the car looked. Like, hell no. It shouldn't take me. It shouldn't take me a half a minute to get up to the speed limit, bro. Nah, I'm good. Hey man, comment down below. Let me know some other cars that look fast, but are actually pretty slow if they weren't listed on this video. But I appreciate all the love, support y'all have shown on the channel so far. Road to 10K, and I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Peace.